Well, I think the first topic that most people, I think, have experienced in some way is being bullied. And I think everybody's been bullied to an extent, whether it's school or work related. You may not be getting called bullying, more harassment in your job, but like, I really do think that is a very common thing that most people go through. And me, I mean, I may not look it, but I am 30 years old. So I'm 30 going on 12. But, you know, and I hear that all day, every day, and it's just a thing. But in school, I graduated 10 years ago, and I graduated older. I was 20 years old. Um, Unfortunately, I failed twice because one thing I couldn't control, and the other thing, maybe could have, not really sure, because in the third grade is when my brother passed away. Not in the third grade, man, I'm losing my life out here. But first grade, I failed the first grade because my brother passed away, and I was 6 years old. You kind of, like, you really don't understand what's going on, but you kind of know. Not really. Like, something's wrong and something's not there, obviously, but, like, I grew up poor, didn't have anything, and kids are the worst, they don't have a filter. They say how they feel. And I remember going, after my brother had passed away, going to school, and I remember having this teacher. I wish I could remember her name because I don't like her to this day. I don't hate anybody, but she always had something slick to say at me. And I remember going home and being upset and telling my mom, and my mom, of course, went to the school and showed her butt, but, it was tough. And I got real quiet. I think I don't think I really got, no, I didn't really get quiet. I think I started acting out to an extent. Like, I wasn't, like, being bad at school. I was doing what I was supposed to, but I had no motivation to do any, like, quote-unquote homework or pay attention. And, like, that was, like, my first dabble into the whole situation. And as I got older, I mean, it's blatantly obvious in pictures and videos, but I got buck teeth. It is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna pay ample amounts of money to get it fixed. It just isn't worth it. I'm already 30 years old. It's already there. It is what it is. Maybe if I lose all my teeth, maybe I'll get it fixed. But until then, that's just the way it's gonna be. I went to the dentist as a kid, and they removed like 8 teeth from the front of my mouth, and then these hefty things decided to grow in, and I heard my fair share of stuff, Bugs Bunny, Beaver, Chicklets' teeth. I mean, you name it, I heard it. If you've got any other ones, I'd like to hear, because I laugh at it now. I still don't particularly like it, but if you get me with a good one, I'll acknowledge a good one. So, but I went through all elementary school hearing that, and also being poor, coming to school with dirty clothes, or the mismatched things, or things that were too big or too small. I mean, that was normal to me, and I thought that everybody was like that. Well, I learned the hard way that they aren't. And coming into the third grade, I have ADHD, whether you believe it or not, that's you. I mean, as a kid, I couldn't pay attention. I couldn't afford to pay attention. It cost too much money. I couldn't spell, and the state of Florida decided, you know what? He can't spell. Make him do it again. And I think probably a quarter of the way through third grade, my family decided to move to Indiana. I know, what a weird change from a nice, beautiful Florida BFE out here, corn and beans. But I came in at the third grade, and I made friends. Don't get me wrong. Like, it ain't like I just didn't have any friends. It was just I never truly felt accepted. You know what I mean? Kind of like that alone feeling that I think we've all felt. You know, in the third grade, like I said, I made some friends, and I moved to the fourth grade. And then that was when I was humiliated again by a teacher. I sat in the back of the class. That's where my desk was, so I didn't do it to evade from being in the front. But I had this teacher, older man. I'm not going to drop any names because it ain't worth it. We were grading our test, and I remember doing a good job. And I kind of got a little excited, you know what I mean? I'm fourth grade, whatever. And did a little dance, you know what I mean? Just sitting in my chair. I wasn't like being loud or nothing. And the teacher saw it. And he thought it was a great idea to stand me up in front of the class, like all the way to the front where all the kids were there watching, made them watch, and I had to do it again. At first, I kind of was like, you know, I didn't really understand what was going on. Then, you know, each grade, there was our class, there was a class right next to us, and across the hall, I think there was either 2 or 3 more classes. I can't really remember. And he called me out into the hallway. It made me go to each individual classroom and do that exact dance. And that's when I knew that he was basically humiliating me in front of all my peers. And I don't remember how old I was. You know, I was older than everybody else because I had already technically failed twice. So I was already 2 years older than everybody. And I just felt like a huge slap in the face. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why would the teacher go to some effort to just straight humiliate somebody to the point that they need to like they get some satisfaction from that? And of course that carried over, and I had to hear it from all the kids in my class and people in the hallways. It was just made into an ordeal that it should have never been. And you know, I went through the fourth grade, and going to the fifth grade, I got another crappy teacher who just felt the need to belittle, you know, me, and probably did other people, but I think I was just more focused on what was happening to me. And then, you know, I think that's when I kind of started to become like a class clown kind of person. Like, oh, I've already been humiliated before in front of all my peers. Screw it, might as well accept it. And I did, and there was parent-teacher conference, and my mom came in to talk to the teacher, which was like I think it might have been the last time that she ever did it. And the teacher looked at my mom and said, "What is wrong with your son? Is he retarded?" And I mean, like, why? Why even say that? Like, sure, okay, I have ADHD. If you want to put that on some type of spectrum, whatever, I don't care. But, like, and my mom, of course, lost her crap and went off, and who the hell are you to say that and be that? And what's the reasoning behind that? And I've got a personal vendetta to that person to this day. And, you know, so I go into the middle school, you know, and it's like it was never ending. You know what I mean? Like, no grade until I was probably a senior in high school that I wasn't just slapped in the face by somebody. You know, in the 6th grade, I got freaking... everybody kind of knew that I was poor, and I went to a small school, so, you know, once one person finds out, everybody finds out, which kind of sucks. You know, it's kind of like a catch-22 of being in a small school or versus a large school when you see somebody new every day. But they end up having a fundraiser deal, and instead of, you know, kind of just keep it on the down low, they blasted my name. And nothing's more embarrassing than showing up to school in other kids' clothing and they know. You know what I mean? Like, they would have found out either way when, hey, I recognize that shirt. You know, maybe I could have played it off. Oh, you know, my mom bought this forever ago. I just never wore it or whatever. I could have came up with something. But no, they had to put my name out there. And so, you know, that was a slap in the face. And then wasn't long after that. That might have been 7th grade, you know, old age, losing my mind out here. But I move away in the 6th grade, about halfway through, and I go to another school, and the 6th grade is an elementary school, so talk about a freaking culture shock. And I never fit in. I never made friends. I was always made fun of, and for the same reasons that I always have, you know, big teeth and being broke. It was just kind of like it followed me everywhere. And like, I've always been like a sociable person. Like, I feel like I can be friends with anybody, but I don't know, man. It just, that area just had something against me. I don't know what I did to it. Maybe the look on my face made me think I hated them or something. I don't know. But I finished out 6th grade there. So 7th grade, I moved back to my original school that I was in. Got back with my own friend group, which was nice. Like I said, I had a decent, you know, I had, 5 or 6 friends that, like, ride or dies, the ones that you keep your circle. And I kept going, It kind of got a little better, once you got to the 8th grade, and then I got in a fight and had to go through all of that. And of course, that's when bullying started to become real big in school, and it became such a bad thing, which it should have always been. But you see in commercials, and it was big on the news and all that it wasn't really a bullying thing. It was just a fight, and the school tried to press charges on me, and I had to go to court. And it wasn't a fight that I started. It was just like hey, you want to go fight? Yeah, sure. And then we, it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to beat you up because you look like a freaking frog. You know what I mean? But so I had to do all that. And then going in, your freshman year, fresh meat in high school. And it's more of it. But I just think it just became like everybody knew who I was. I don't know if I made a good name for myself, but definitely had a name. So, it never stopped. I had learned to accept it, and, if they thought I was annoying, you know what, I just kind of egged it on. I became more annoying around them just to piss them off, to prove a point that, now that you've said something, I'm going to purposely be that guy now, So, but I think everybody's been bullied. And I mean, I get bullied now, at my age, people still think that the whole teeth thing is a big deal. I mean, how old are we? Like, okay, I got big teeth. I'm 30 years old. I can't grow a beard. I look like freaking a 12-year-old. I could literally go to high school right now and people wouldn't think it any different, like I was a new student. But dealing with a bully and not having just that one kid that movies portrayals, like the big macho man, like, or some like super douche that just like picks on you. That's not how I don't think that's how it is. I think it's just everyone together is what creates that bully. Like, if they all get mashed up into one person, I think that's what the movies and shows try to project. But like, dealing with that, I believe, one, never be scared. A lot of people think that I'm just talking shit, but like, I truly believe that I'm not scared of anybody. There's two people in my life, and that's my dad and my grandpa that I'm scared of. Everybody else, you may whip my ass. You may beat the hell out of me. Okay, it happens to everyone. Don't matter if you're freaking Mike Tyson or a guy dang, Bruce Lee or something. Somebody out there can whip your ass. So, get it out of your head. Don't be scared. Stand up for yourself. Don't let people stand over you and look down on you and hold that finger to your forehead and think that they're better than you. You're equal across the board. Like, I mean, when you're at work and somebody tries to stand on you and they think that they're better than you, guess what? When they walk out that door, their name, their title, their rank, or whatever, unless you're military, that's a different story, don't matter. They're just another person, another man, another woman, whatever. And I think people need to understand that. Nobody has power over you. I mean, quote from the movie, you have no power here. But like, don't be scared. Stand up for yourself. Don't run. I'm not saying pick a fight with the person, but like, surround yourself with good friends. Find the right circle, the people that you click with, and be there for each other. I was that for a friend. He had somebody picking on him, and I came up from behind and he was doing the whole towering over him, and I freaking slammed him up against the wall. I wasn't no big guy, but I was trying to prove a point that he's not alone. Sometimes you just gotta, maybe he couldn't handle the situation, maybe he did, but I wanted to let him know that, one, he's not alone, and two, to let my friend know that somebody's got his back. And I think that's something that kind of gets lost out here. We're so numb to seeing people get belittled and bullied and just think it's funny, and it's more, let's put it on camera and laugh about it than stand up and be there for that person. That person that's getting bullied could have the worst home life ever. Their only escape is school, and you're destroying that. And honestly, I kind of think that's where I ride that line. Like, I hated being home. I couldn't do anything. I didn't have anything. And, my mom had severe mental health issues after my brother passing away, that I would do anything I could to get away. So school was that escape. and to go to school and get made fun of and hear the jokes and hear all the crap and hear the crap talking from everybody, it was like, is there any way out? So I think the best thing I ever did was surround myself with good people. And like I said, it wasn't until I was in my senior year that people started to understand who I was. They didn't know about, the death that I had been through. They didn't know about my home life. They didn't know all this stuff. And when everything started to come to light and we were more mature, they were like, oh, you could kind of sense that they had some sense of regret of the things that they had said. And some people didn't change, and whatever. Screw them. They can jump off a bridge or something. But, like, don't ever think that you have to face that alone. You're not. You're not the only person getting bullied. There's probably I don't know what size school you may go to, but we'll just throw a number out there. There's probably 20 people in the same shoes as you. I'm not saying search for them 20 people, but surround yourself with good people. Don't alienate yourself, because that will make the situation worse. Don't resort to doing something severely drastic that you see in the news today. That's not the answer, and that's not what you need to do. No matter what happens, nobody deserves to be killed unless they kill somebody or whatever. I'm not no judge, jury, or executioner, so I can't make that call. But, like, don't be scared. Stand up for yourself. Surround yourself with good people. Do good. Get out of, graduate and get on with your life. But don't maybe look and try to figure out what you can do to make yourself. Don't change who you are. Who you are is who you are. Don't go and say, oh, I guess I got to change my entire persona and the way I look so people accept me. First of all, screw that. People can't accept you for who they are or who you are. Fuck them. So, but you're not the first person who's been harassed, bullied, and made fun of. And I think that, something like a bully may be the worst thing somebody ever experiences in their life. They may have never, in their childhood, we'll go with that, till they graduate, that they may have never experienced a loss, or maybe never experienced being poor, or never experienced, anything but being bullied, and that may be the most traumatic thing that they go through, and that may define them their whole life. Like, they think that someone's constantly out there to get them, and that's not the case. And you have to be somewhat accepting of that. Never look at somebody, oh, you were just bullied. That means, oh, I wasn't that hard. I went through that too, but I went through this. Never belittle somebody, because that could have been the worst thing that they've ever been through. You need to be understanding and help them cope that, yes, it was bad. We can be better. And let's move past that. Let's what are the next steps? And I think that's what we as a society need to do. We are so fixated, or however you say that word, on trying to, like, point the finger and laugh and joke. And with social media the way it is, I mean, you could post a picture and 1 million people could see it, and 700,000 of them could make some snark comment, and then you feel like, oh my God, I am ugly, or I am this, I am that. Then you got 300,000 people who are cheering you on and liking it and telling you look great, or this is that, or that's cool. Those 300,000 people are with you. That's other 700,000 people, and kick rocks, go fly a kite, you know. Who cares? You probably never meet those people. So I think social media has I think it's done more harm than good in that aspect of bullying, because now you can't get away from it. Maybe your home life's great, but school life sucks. But now it can follow you, and it can follow you everywhere you go. It's in your pocket. I mean, it could be on your wrist. No matter what you do, it could follow you. So I think we need to do better. But never think that you're alone. Never think that there's no way out. You can make it no matter what. And if you need anything, any questions or what you think that you might want to do or any tips for somebody else, drop them in the comments, you know. Don't be scared. You ain't got to air all your dirty laundry or air your whole life, but you know, be kind and help one another, because life's already hard enough. We don't need to make it harder on each other.